Are you ready? I'm ready. This is the time of year where every mama is craving some routine, a little bit of organization. So today I thought I would help you get that started with a little bit of preparation in the kitchen for breakfast. This video is for all of you busy mamas who are getting back into the routine of school and just back on schedule. Hoping to help you all out by giving you some make-ahead breakfast ideas that will make your mornings a little bit easier. Now that we're getting back into school, I wanted to get some breakfast recipes that we could whip up the night before or have in the freezer or the fridge ahead of time so that in the morning, my kids themselves could pull them out in the morning and warm them up. My goal is restoring home, family, and spirit here on our 100-year-old little farm. I am passionate about bringing back tried and true homemaking skills. And if you are as well, go ahead and press the subscribe button, press that like button, and let me know you are here. And I am so glad you're here. Today's recipes are wholesome and from scratch, but don't let that intimidate you. They are quite simple. I just got started some grits on the stove, and now I'm going to stretch and fold and shape my sourdough loaves. This is the bread recipe that I bake up weekly. I quadruple the recipe and make 4 loaves of honey sourdough wheat sandwich bread. And we are going to be also using this bread to make some make-ahead French toasts. Just last night, I fed my sourdough that had been sitting inside the fridge for a week. And then I put together this bread dough recipe this morning, let it do its bulk fermentation, and then I'm going to shape it. I just recently started making grits. This past year, we love to have them with fried eggs and some butter and hot sauce. We also love to have them with some milk and cinnamon and sugar. So my plan is to freeze little individual cups of grits in muffin tins so that my kids can pop those out and warm them up and have them any way that they please. And then I'm gonna chop up some onion and pepper and get that ready for some breakfast burritos and make those ahead and wrap them individually and freeze them. I don't know if I'm the only one in this battle, but I am constantly fighting the high processed, high sugar breakfast options that we have at the store and do my best to choose high fiber, whole grain cereals and breakfast items. I mostly make breakfast from scratch, but when I'm looking for something to put on the table really quick, there are not a whole lot of options that you can pick up from the store that are healthy, full of protein, nutrition. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you want to have an option other than sugary cold cereal, you do have to put in some sort of effort or at least put in an effort to avoid it. I think that the pull and temptation to give in to the whining, begging children down the cold cereal aisle is very strong. But whatever it may be, you just do the best you can. And I think that's what every mom really tries to do. She just does the best that she can in the circumstances that she has. And that's all we can really ask. So I'm whipping up together some farm fresh eggs here, a little bit of cream, making these scrambled eggs for our breakfast burritos. We're just doing a few different things simultaneously. One thing I love about breakfast is it's so simple, but also so heartwarming. When the grits are finally done, I like to put in a cube of butter in there so they're nice and salty and buttery. And I also picked up this silicone muffin tin. I guess it's not really a tin, a muffin liner that will make it really easy to pop out these frozen little grit cups. And I'll also put a link down below if you want to shop this post as well. Not everyone in my family is crazy about grits, but those who love it, they can take out these little cups and have those for breakfast. I did find that not all grits are created equal. I ordered some organic grits from Azure Standard, and that kind of changed my whole world on grits. They are delicious. And I would have to say, definitely higher quality than what you're going to find maybe on the shelf in the grocery store. So fast forward a couple of days later, I pulled these out of the freezer. I'm putting them in a gallon freezer bag. We had to hurry and get breakfast and rush out the door this morning. And so it was really nice just to say, hey, what do you want for breakfast? Do you want a frozen burrito? Do you want a cup of grits? Do you want a little bit of French toast? What do you guys want this morning? One of my boys loves grits and eggs, and so I'm just popping one of these grits into the microwave for a couple minutes, and I fried up a few eggs for the rest of the family, and he's just going to have that grits with eggs and a little bit of hot sauce, just the way he likes it. I was recently listening to a podcast where Abby from M is for Mama said that instead of thinking of our kids as interrupting us while we're trying to get things done, instead to invite them to do things with us. And I really loved that. And so I invited the boys to be a part of this assembly line in making these breakfast burritos. And it was a little bit messy, a little chaotic, and it was definitely boy style. There were eggs and sausage flying at times, but it was fun. And I think it's good to teach them how to be a part of things. We've been really working on making our home more of a team culture where everyone has their responsibilities and everyone's pitching in so it doesn't all just end up on mom's shoulders, because we all live here, we all eat here, and we all need to be a part of making this home a better place. So our kids have a morning routine and they also have an evening routine, and they know what they're supposed to do when they wake up. They make their beds, they brush their teeth, they do a little tidy. After dinner, they rotate responsibilities. Someone is cleaning the floors, someone is cleaning off the table and the countertops, and someone else is doing the dishes. When we are consistent with these routines, things go beautifully. The house is cleaner, I'm less stressed out. I know that in the morning, the kitchen will be cleaner than it would have been. Through different seasons of life, these routines have looked different. Sometimes there haven't been any routines and things were just chaotic. Through this last year after the move, things were very chaotic, and it's taken a long time to get back into a routine. But I have noticed that some of our personalities do thrive better on routines, and even as spontaneous personalities do better with some sort of routine, and it is worth battling for and putting the effort in for. This is my favorite breakfast that we've thrown into the mix. This is a baked oatmeal, and I know other people have been doing baked oatmeal for a while. This is new to our family, and I love it. So I made this chocolate peanut butter baked oatmeal, and it is creamy and custardy. And these are two of my favorite flavors, chocolate and peanut butter. What I'm totally loving about this baked oatmeal is that I just mixed it together the night before, left it in the fridge to kind of soak up all of the liquid, and in the morning popped it in the oven, and it was done in 45 minutes. I'm going to show you a couple of recipes for baked oatmeal, but I'm going to put them in the freezer to make in the future. So in the bowl on the right, I'm going to make my chocolate peanut butter oatmeal. In the bowl on the left, I'm going to make a pumpkin pie baked oatmeal. As long as you know the basic baked oatmeal recipe, you can change up the flavors, you can change up the sugars, you can make it as healthy as you want it to be or as not healthy as you want it to be. The basic recipe is 2 cups of oats, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, and 2 cups of milk. For the pumpkin pie oatmeal, I'm going to add 1 cup of pumpkin puree and all the spices that you would put in a pumpkin pie. I haven't pre-mixed my pumpkin pie spice yet. We're almost to the season for pumpkin spice, but not quite there yet. And then I'm going to add 3/4 a cup of brown sugar. Now, if that seems like a lot of sugar to you, go ahead and substitute with a half a cup, 1/4 of a cup, whatever floats your boat of maple syrup or honey. But I'm going with the traditional brown sugar here and oatmeal. I think the baked oatmeal does better when it has some time to sit in the fridge and let the grains soak in all the liquid. I love this creamy, custardy texture that it has when it comes right out of the oven. It's definitely best served hot. For the peanut butter chocolate oats, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of peanut butter and also 1/3 cup of coconut oil. Although if you're cutting down on the fat, you definitely could just do the peanut butter as the fat and take out the coconut altogether. And I also added some coconut oil to the pumpkin pie oats as well. And then you could add maple flavoring or vanilla extract to your oats as well. I think the maple would be really tasty in your pumpkin pie one, or you could do vanilla. I picked up these containers to go in the freezer, and I'm going to put my oats in here and put them straight into the freezer. Then when we are ready to eat, I'm just going to pull them out the night before, pop them in the fridge to thaw and bake them. Or you could pull them out sooner than that, bake them the night before, have it in the fridge in the morning so you could just warm it up in the microwave, pour a little bit of milk over it. I love that these containers came with a little cardboard cover over them. And just as I'm editing this, I'm realizing that I labeled them backwards. So note to self, go switch the covers on these baked oats. When they're ready to bake, you can bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 to 45 minutes. Until it's solid in the middle. But I like to leave them a little bit wobbly so it's kind of custardy and smooth. I love eating sourdough bread. It feels so good in my body. But if you wanted to make this even easier on yourself, of course, you can just go pick up some loaves of bread from the store. These containers were a little bit awkward with the sliced French toast, but yeah, we just made it work. Just shoved it all here in the bottom, and we're going to cover it with the liquid for the French toast. So I'm going to use the rest of what is left in this pumpkin puree and make a pumpkin pie spice French toast, and then we're just going to make a traditional French toast with blueberries for the other one. And I'm just adding a couple of eggs, all the spices that you would have in a pumpkin pie spice, another cup of milk, mixing this together here. I sweetened this with some maple syrup, about 2 tablespoons worth. This doesn't look like a lot of French toast for one serving, but this is enough for our family to have for breakfast in the morning. If you have a bigger family, you could definitely double this recipe or just pull out 2 of these containers of French toast for one breakfast. And for the traditional French toast, very similar recipe. I'm just adding some eggs, some fresh cow's milk, taking some of the cream off the top so it's even creamier, adding some cinnamon here. I like a lot of cinnamon in my French toast, and some vanilla extract, about 1/4 a cup of sugar. And then I also added a 1/3 egg in here because it just needed some more liquid. There wasn't as much liquid in here as there was for the pumpkin pie, and I wanted enough to cover the bread so that it would be nice and moist here. If you're preparing this dish the night before, just make sure that all of your bread is submerged in the liquid, and then in the morning when you're ready to bake, flip over all the slices of French toast. Just make sure that they're all nice and moist, and then go ahead and bake at 350 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. And if you want to go the extra mile to make it really special, I'm just making a little streusel topping to sprinkle over the top of these French toasts. For the streusel topping, mix 1/4 a cup of flour, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of cold butter cut, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, maybe a little bit of nutmeg. Crumble that together and sprinkle it on top. We make sour discard pancakes a lot. Every time I mix up some bread dough, I put together this recipe. The night before, you mix up 1½ cups of milk with 1½ cups of whole wheat flour and a 1/2 cup of sourdough discard. And I put that in the fridge the night before, let that long ferment, and then in the morning, I add 1 egg, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 a teaspoon of baking soda, a couple of tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 a cup of coconut oil, a little bit of salt. And for this recipe, I just doubled that so it would fit in this sheet pan. And I guess the benefit of baking up your pancakes in a sheet pan is that you don't have to spend all the time flipping. You just put it in the oven and bake it at 425 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's kind of fun because you can add whatever toppings you want. Okay, so here's a quick hack in case you run out of maple syrup. I've been doing this a lot lately. So on the stove, I boiled together 1 cup of raw cane sugar with 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of maple extract. And with as much pancakes as we eat, we go through a lot of maple syrup. And I just feel better about giving them this version of maple syrup than the corn syrup versions that you find at the grocery store. Of course, the real stuff is always preferred, but if you're in a pinch, this works well. I invite you to go down to the comment section below and tell me which one of these breakfasts you want to try in your home. I really want you guys to take these recipes, make them work for your family. If you want to add protein powder to your oatmeal bakes, then go ahead and do that. If you want to use honey or maple syrup instead of cane sugar, then do that as well. I hope it gives you some really good ideas to make your mornings so much more delightful. And I'll catch you next time. Love you lots.